That's all we got. We gonna make this a 2-part, huh?
Hey, we can. You got something else you want to share?
So let's talk about what I think is one of the most important things that artists, producers, and really overall business, there's a lack of knowledge, I think, that's out there, and people think things are way simpler than they really are. Although sometimes I could say, we overcomplicate things as well. But there's a thing that I like about being an entrepreneur, but there's also a point in my life where I can recognize, like, yeah, I was doing it, but it was for the moment versus doing something that's for the future.
Yeah.
So like I would say, like, just buying equipment, as a producer, hey, you get a new client in, you do 3 or 4 beats, then you go buy you something, right?
Yeah, right on.
You add to the collection, right? But when I went to work for the company that I work at, I started in, they gave me a PC, and I was like, I don't know how to use a PC. Like, I don't know, how to use the thing. So I had to get a little creative, learn a little bit, right? So then the owner of the company, he and I were having a conversation, and I told him, hey, what do I have to do to get a Mac? Because, I can do way more for my job. So he said, well, if you come back with a proposal that shows me if the Mac costs $3,000, show me how you're going to make $12,000 plus the $3,000 to pay for the Mac, and I'll buy you one.
Yeah.
So that made me take a pause, like at a point in my life where I had never done anything like that, to just kind of go and do some research to say, okay, well, because I want to do this video for the company, well, that's not generating any money.
Yeah.
It's good for the company, but it's not generating any revenue. So the thing, and the whole point of what I'm saying is about really evaluating how you spend your money. It's like, as I've gotten older, like, I technically don't own a car right now. I have a company car.
Okay.
And I have no desire to buy one.
Right.
Because I know at this point, I understand that a car is just a tool. It's a tool to get me from work back home to the mall or wherever else we want to go out to eat, and that's all it really is. Like, having a car note that's, $1,000 a month plus insurance, it's not a big deal. I could pay for that.
Yeah.
But the thing that I look back upon my career and said, hey, I chased this rap game, and it took me about 15 years to get to a point where it was sustainable, where there was enough money coming in to keep it going and really build a business idea of being a success in the industry, right? So I then evaluate if I would have stayed in college and got a degree in engineering. I would say, okay, well, I would probably have the same amount of money, right, from college, from the music industry, because I got lucky with 50 Cent, right?
Yeah.
It's destined. It was destined to happen.
Right on.
So the thing that when I started working, I realized, well, I don't have a retirement.
Yeah.
Zero. Because I wasn't putting any away when I was making money in the music industry as retirement, because guess what? I was trying to still build a business.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think we don't have the foresight to understand, that there's a process for building a business. There's, microeconomics that teaches you about what's going on in the economy and how to spend money and how to make money and how to use banks' money when interest rates are low. So that you don't have to use your money, so that you can keep your retirement planning going. Because, so many of us in the music industry get old, or even like during the pandemic. Look how many artists had to sell their copyrights.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Because they weren't doing shows.
Yeah.
So there was no tour money. That's where artists generally make most of their money. So the only thing of value that they really had that they could, not change their lifestyle was to sell their publishing rights.
Yeah.
So you know, I get it. And what it is just, you know, we're not taught how to save and why it's important to save. And then when you're young, it's really not important to you because you're like, man, when I get 60, like, I ain't worried about it. You know,
it's gonna keep
that's
coming,
it's something gonna happen. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the lotto by then, you know. And it's like we all know people that hit the lotto, what happens? They go broke.
They go, yeah.
So money management and understanding how to really build the aspects of your business and ensure that you have, you know, something set up for the future, you know, that's the way it should be. So what I've had to do in the last 10 years is really like dump a lot of money into my 401k.
Yeah.
So that, you know, I probably got another 15 years, you know, before I'll be 65. If I have to work that long, you know, I might hit it too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I'm always working on something, you know. Like I was telling my boy Bentley, he said, I ain't doing nothing unless I can make me 500,000. I was like, oh, okay, that's what I'm trying to do. So it's one of those things where you got to know how to set that money aside as opposed to continue it. Like, I know you may be trying to build something and you feel like, well, if I could just get this, it's going to be better. If I can just get that, it's going to be better. And the one thing I could tell you really is if you just develop your talent for the music industry, you don't need a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know, one of my early conversations, I was in a private party with Dr. Dre and I got to talk to him. And I was like, man, you know, what do you need to go to the studio? He said a drum machine.
Yeah.
And if you look at all his music, he brought in guitar players, he brought in bass players, he brought in keyboard players to play on all his music. So he had that genius to know, like, okay, I can produce and bring all these elements together and make what I'm hearing in my head.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, sometimes we get caught up in thinking we need another tool. Right. And it's really not the tool, it's the knowledge to understand really how to work what you have. Because I can tell you, I have plugins right now that I don't even know how to use.
Yeah.
You know, I just stick them on there. Okay, that sounds good. Let me just flip through some presets. Okay, let me make this little adjustment, you know. Okay, yeah, I like that. But it's like, I don't really have time to sit and, you know, discover. But for the younger guys who can, like, really spend more time to really get to understand your tool, learn more about music theory, because that's the root. You know, it's like, I'll tell you, when I took my journey into learning music, like, I've never had writer's block. Yeah. Never. After I learned music. Because I could just go, okay, let's do a 5-2-1 progression right now, you know. Yeah. All right, change that, make it a 1-6-4-5. All right, you know. Okay, what key? Well, let's try it in F minor. Yeah. Play that chord progression, you know. There's different ways you can play notes.
Yeah.
So now you quickly turn.
Yeah, you can just go.
You know.
Yeah.
Something into some music rather quickly if you know.
Right.
You know, and I would say, like, one of my friends was like, he was like, man, you know enough about music. You don't really, it's gonna mess you up if you learn music. So that discouraged me from learning music for a long time in my career. Because it's like, I get what he was saying. Like, he knew that up here I could hear music in a different way. Yeah. But the problem was I always had to be around somebody, you know.
Yeah, right.
I start humming something to you, be like, oh yeah, I got you, baby. I got you, baby. Go. Oh yeah, that's it right there.
That's it right there. Yeah.
So it's like, but you know, I needed to get to that point in my life where I understood, like, hey, I need to be able to do it on my own. Yeah. You know, so that when I do get with somebody who can play, maybe they can play it a whole lot better.
Right.
And then be like, well, oh, that's jamming right there, but what if you did this? Because, you know, they have a different level of music, right? So it's like, that's what I'm saying, like, because you're competing against everybody. Like, I know Hardbody has, you know, us against everybody, and that's really what it is, man. Right. You going against everybody. You got the hating producers that don't want to see you make it. You got artists that don't want to see you make it because you don't want to give them no beat. You got the gatekeeper at, you know, if you just keep working up the ladder, going to the DJs in the club. They want to play their stuff because they producers, so they ain't playing your music. So then you get to the next level, which is, you know, the distributor who's like, oh, we get, you know, 500 new records every week. Like, so what make yours so more important? Yeah. So that's kind of where I was, you know, back to what I was talking about with business is like really understanding business. Take some marketing classes so that you understand marketing and the science of what the consumers want.
Yeah.
Like people don't even like. It puzzles me that artists think that they're making music for them.
Right.
You gonna buy it all?
Yeah.
You as an artist, you're making music for the customers. The customer is the hero in your story because they want to take and use what you've created so they can survive and thrive.
Yeah.
They can find them a girlfriend or boyfriend. They can find somebody to make love to because you got a nice love song.
Yeah.
They can find somebody that they can praise God with because you're making a religious song.
Right.
That's what people listen to music for. You're actually giving them the things that they don't know how to express, and you're expressing it for them. But a lot of people don't understand that that's a part of marketing.
Yeah.
So.
Man. Yeah.
No. I've as I've gotten older, I've gotten wiser.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest thing, like I remember, like as a kid, people would say it's all in the books.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If I was walking around with a book in third ward, oh man, you a nerd, man. What you doing with that book?
Right.
And it's like I look back and I go, man, that's what we've done to ourselves.
Right.
We've created dummies because it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
To read books.
Yeah.
And it is continually perpetuated, over generations after generation after generation. It's like my son as a kid, he used to read a lot. Like, I don't even know if he reads books now.
Yeah.
Like this dude would like be up, you'd have to go tell him to go to bed because he's sitting in there, he up because his lamp's on.
Yeah.
And he in there reading. And it's like reading can embellish your imagination, especially if you get into, reading fiction and, how others write. It'll make you a better writer. It'll make you a better storyteller because that's the key to it all is being a great storyteller.
Yeah.
You got to sell people into the belief of what it is you're saying. When you think about why people choose a pastor, because they connect with that pastor.
Right.
That pastor's if he's feeding their soul in a manner that they haven't been able to find anywhere else.
Yeah.
He said, hey, we need to raise some money for this. What happened? You dig in your pocket and get it because you believe in what he's saying. And it's being an artist is not that different. You're giving them whatever kind of music, whatever genre it is you're trying to deliver to them. If you're doing classical, well, you're catering to people that like classical music. So
yeah,
you got to give them what they want. You can't say I'm trying to do classic with a rock edge to it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Nah, that's not what we want to hear.
Yeah.
But there may be some people that are looking for classical with a rock edge, but you got to find those people.
Right.
So you really have to understand who your customers are and how to reach them.
Yeah.
So that's it's like just basic business stuff, man, that I think that we think, because we think we got a great idea. And I tell people all the time, what you're thinking is a great idea, somebody's already doing it.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Now the question is can you beat them to launch it?
Yeah.
Can you beat, and not even just launch it, but launch it in a manner where you have enough attention from the media, that you're able to capture it. Like a great book, 48 Laws of Power. It's like I've skimmed through it, but I learned 48 Laws of Power from 50 Cent.
Yeah.
When he jumped on Ja Rule, when he would go from rapper to rapper to rapper to rapper, because guess what? He was getting free press.
Yeah.
As long as you're getting free press, you're not paying for it. You're keeping your name out there. You're expanding your reach because people are hearing about you.
Right.
Even though you playing the bully role, he was.
Yeah, he was.
It's like, I heard this one story. He was like, hey, really, I was throwing layups.
Yeah.
Some people would catch the alley hoop and dunk it, and we go back and forth.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
And that's kind of like I told this to Quentin yesterday. I said, what you have to do is you have to get to the point where you are, as an artist, do for his people what Trump does for them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he caters to them. He feeds them what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. He feed.
And they rah-rah and they send their money in and donate.
Yeah.
But that's all a part of power. 48 laws of power.
Yeah.
You have to pick on somebody to elevate yourself.
Yeah.
That's one of the laws. You know,
Okay, one of them. Yeah,
yeah, it's one of the 48. But it's just like, you know, some basic business things, man, that are in the books that are out there.
Yeah.
Like even one of the books I just got through reading, Chameleonaire posted about a story brand. So I went and read that book. You know, after he posted about it, I was like, oh man, this is like really eye opening.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm always looking for, you know, for little books that are out there that, you know, that give you a little something different that you didn't grow up with. Like I didn't grow up, like my grandmother raised me. She probably didn't graduate high school, and I was out there on my own from a standpoint of she couldn't help me educationally.
Right.
You know, so she had an amputated leg, so it's not like she could even say, well, let me just take you to the library. You know, hopefully you'll bump into some books, you know. So a lot of what I had to do was out there, you know, being encouragement from teachers. Like I was talking to one of my teachers from high school. She knew I played basketball. I ended up in an honors biology class, right? So she was like, this is honors biology. If you're not supposed to be in here, you know, raise your hand. I raised my hand. She said, oh, you put your hand down. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You play basketball, right? Okay. So I'm like, oh man, what's that about? So what she later told me, she knew that she could help me in this honors class more one-on-one time.
Okay.
Than if she stuck me in a regular biology class with 30 other kids.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, in honors, all you had to make was a 60.
Yeah. And you pay. Yeah, it's fast. Yeah.
So I'll just say, like, that was the first time really in my life with school that I was challenged. Yeah. Man, she had books bigger than this MPC, man. I used to have to take home every day, man. But it was just like, I look back and say, man, that was a valuable lesson. I really appreciate, you know, that she took that time to nurture me and help me, you know, see that I could actually face the challenge of taking this honors class, you know. And I won't say like I was a dummy or anything, but I was the dude who would show up in class like right before a math class, and I'm
trying to get
turn it in, right? You know, I can do it in between class. Yeah. So hindsight, you know, I wish I had somebody who would have stayed on me. Like, you know, I stayed on my kids. My daughter used to call me the dictator. But it's like I was just trying to give them something that I didn't have. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And of course, what do we do as kids? We resist, you know, what our parents want to do. So, hey, but I tried, you know.
Train up a child the way they go there.
Yep. You know, so eventually she'll come back around and she'll be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. Yeah. But hey, if I wouldn't have given it to her, she would never come back around to that. Right. She wouldn't have that foundation. So I'm gonna interview you some. All
right, come on.
So tell me, like, when you met me and you would, you know, you saw, like, at that time, I had the big studio, and you were probably like, oh man, this is it, right? So we started doing some work together. We started developing some artists, and then you kind of began to get into the whole circle of, you know, right engaged in what I was doing. Yeah. So how did that lay a foundation for you as far as, like, I know you came in the door thinking you were ready, but then kind of
yeah, because really I didn't even know that I wanted to be in that. Okay. I just did it. Okay. And Malcolm was like, hey, you know, you can take that somewhere and make something. I say, where? You know, I didn't know. Okay. So I was just going to school to be a businessman. I didn't know what business, but I was just going but I just always liked messing with the keyboards and stuff. Yeah. So he brought me there because I had no intention of leaving school, nothing. Then I met y'all, like, okay. I like, cool, okay, so you can do this, do that. So it was it. It's when I got bit by the bug, you know what I'm saying? So, but what I learned, man, I mean, just seeing all that is just learning the day-to-day, the grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned the grind, how we used to stay up all night, all the time, and doing the records for Malcolm, all that stuff.
Well, sometimes you would stay up all night. I was old then, so, you know, maybe till 1 or 2 at night I could stay, but, you know, you'd be like, yeah, man, just come by in the morning when you wake up. I'd be like, what?
Yeah, so it's right. And the grind and all the different personalities, man, and the different situations, man, and just dealing with all the different types of artists and the different people, because it was a range of people coming through, from the gangster to the gangster to the
gospel.
Yeah.
I had
how was
SGR, Derek,
the producer, Sticks.
That's what I was talking about earlier. I was talking about, man, you don't need to learn how to.
Yeah.
He moved to New York for a while. He just moved back to Houston probably about 3 months ago.
Is he still in gospel music, or is he still doing music?
So he's doing music. He's actually singing.
Yeah.
He's more into, I guess I would call it rock.
Okay.
But he's always been a Prince fan. So if you think Prince going the rock version of Prince,
okay,
he's kind of always kind of been in that path. So he's still doing it and still still just being him.
Yeah, man,
having fun with it.
Yeah. So that's kind of what that was like the foundation, man. Just learning the day to day, man, and just being in there, learning how to learn about equipment and stuff, like get my hands on every day, man. So. As far as that, and that would kind of build my foundation with that, man. So
when you were working with me, do you feel like you got a sense of really learning about producing?
Yeah, I got a sense about producing. Yes.
So what were some of those things you think you learned?
Shoot, just how to direct artists. How to direct artists. What to listen for. Learning that. Although I wanted an artist to be good, they may not be good. You gotta learn that. Learning how to be hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to tell somebody that they not good.
Yeah.
And I really didn't get there until later on.
You probably you used to be like
that was hard, man.
Yeah, you were doing some stuff, and I'd be like, okay, y'all can use this.
Yeah, because I couldn't do it. I was like, man, come on, you can get it. Because it was the one artist who came there. It was this girl, and she had just came. I think she just found you online. No, it wasn't online back then. It was, but I forgot how she found. Yeah, and she came and she just wanted to sing. So you started working with her at first. Then I was in there with you, and then you was done. Then I stayed in there, tried to get her, man, but she wasn't good, man. She was like, man, I'm through, man. I can't do it. I was like, man, she can get it. But anyway, just learning that, man, and working with artists too, man. Like what's her name? Jackie Key. Having them like experiences in there with her, and then just hearing it, man. So just
somebody like I'm gonna stop you for just saying, like, Jackie Key. She was a really good singer.
Yeah,
and she just had stage fright. Yeah. Like when we did her first show, she was not ready to perform live, and at that point, I knew it was over.
Yeah,
because I could see the animosity of like, okay, I just want to sing, in the studio. But, it's like she's probably one of the first singers that I worked with. I was like, okay, she has a really incredible voice,
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about R&B at that time. I was a rap producer, you know.
Yeah.
Give me some street music, give me some of that New Zero, Lil Flex or something.
Oh, Lil Flex. You know what one of the experiences that we had, though, that, like when you said, I thought I'd do, that's when I knew that I had a lot to learn, because it was when we went and met Matthew Knowles, and we had an opportunity to get on that Survivor album.
Yep.
Gave us the acapella and everything. And I look back on it because I had never put music to vocals before. And so, but now I can do that now, but that was like, I wasn't ready. Me personally.
See, that's what I'm talking about, though, right? Like, here we talking about the greatest girls group of all time.
Yeah.
We got a shot at it, right?
Yeah.
And I thought what we did was good.
Yeah, I did too. You know what I'm saying?
But it was like, I think at the end of the day, what happened is they went with the original music. They probably worked it out with Scott Storch.
Okay.
Because it was the, what was the saying? What was the
Nasty
song?
Girl?
No. He may have gave us the vocals to that one, but the one we did was...
I thought Nasty put some clothes on. I told you.
I think. Well, maybe we did too.
It was Nasty, and then we did two versions of the same song.
No, it was another song we did too. The Scott Storch produced. It was a ballad.
Man, I don't. I can't
think of the name of it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like one of those things where, and that's like, as a producer, like, it's kind of like, how do you know when you're ready?
Right.
And that's kind of probably where we were at that time. Like, again, we were competing with the world.
Right.
They had freaking Scott Storch.
yeah.
And whoever else they wanted.
I thought Timbaland did the original beat. I thought that's who did the original beat to Nasty Girl.
I can't.
Yeah, it was.
So, music industry scoop. Sometimes they get beats from producers. Well, back in the day, they used to be more like that. They record something, and the producer would be like, "Oh yeah, I want 150,000."
Yeah.
Well, they can call up me and Q-Stone and probably get us for 5,000, yeah. And then probably say, "Well, yeah, we're gonna take some of y'all publishing too."
Yeah, yeah.
Which is where the money's at, you know. So knowing the business, you know, that's kind of probably how that would have worked out with Matthew. Like, I got you home, so now give me half of that publishing.
Yeah, man. And so,
because he's a businessman.
Yeah, yeah,
but
man.
You know, it's like hindsight. You got to know.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. You know, when I was saying earlier, like, what is it you need to know? It was like business and what you do. You know, if you write the music, what percentage of the song do you own? You know,
right.
Understanding that and having a split sheet when you go in the studio, so that you know everybody at least putting it on a piece of paper.
That's what it do.
You know, take a picture of it, because now you got a timestamp if you take a picture of it. So you got the date, you got the location. You know, geolocation with a photo. So if I ever go see, I know those kind of things. So if I go to court, I'm gonna show up and be like, yeah, you signed that paper on this date at that time at this location.
Yeah, man.
Now, you want me to get your phone records and show where you were at that time?
Hey, man.
By the time we do all that, it's like, okay,
we
right.
got it. And then another thing, man, like just looking back on what I wish I would have done more. I wish I would have took more control on what I was learning. I won't say control, but I wish I would have learned more, took the initiative to learn more while I was there. You know what I'm saying? Because I was young, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to do things, and my patience at that time, I was a little impatient with the process.
I'm gonna tell you I knew exactly when you showed that you were impatient. So when I went on the road with Juvenile, and I was like, look, let me get in, and I'm gonna bring you in.
But you didn't tell me that.
Well, if I didn't tell you,
I'm just saying.
If I didn't strictly tell you that, that was my as a businessman. That's let me get in the door.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna come back and get you. But what would happen when he come back in town? Who would I call to be at the studio?
Yeah.
We working on some songs. Who was playing and getting paid?
Right.
Stacks.
Right.
Q-Stone. Right. So it was I knew I couldn't like be the first one to get on the bus and be like, no, I need to bring Q-Stone.
Right.
Cause he paying for my food, hotels, you know. So if I just say I'm gonna bring somebody, he'd be like, well, shit.
Yeah. You
need to pay for your own, your own rooms with it. Because when you think about it, like we were on the road for like 3 weeks at a time.
Right.
And I might come home for a couple of days and then go right back out. So my whole thing was like, hey, let me just get in. And I guess, just so that it's clear, like my original reason for going, like he didn't hire me as a producer.
Right.
He hired me as an engineer.
Yeah.
So like, it's like, I could do beats on the bus, and they hear something, be like, oh yeah, we want to do some of that, So it was like, I was sneaking my way in, but that's the way I did things my whole music career.
Right.
Like I knew that people were coming to the studio, I go start working on the beat, because what they gonna do when they walk in if it's jamming?
Right.
Who that's for?
Right.
It's yours if you want it. That was always my answer, right? Yeah. So I knew that, like to me, like I understood that if I could get into camp, I'm recording, I can see what they were doing, then I can say, okay, I can do stuff like that.
Right.
Because I would say as a producer, I really never had like I guess I did have a sound, like I always like funky stuff.
Right.
But it's not like I just had like a Timberland stamp.
Right.
Like, oh, that's a Sean Blade. Yeah. So I never had that, but my thing was like, hey, let me just get in, and then hey, we can take it over.
Yeah.
Like let me build up this trust. It's kind of like the company I work for right now. Like I've been there 10 years. I've been building up trust.
Yeah.
So now they trust me, because I understand how it goes,
Right on.
It's like I work for a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
And I've only seen him once, but they trust me enough to even put me in front of him at some point. But it's like anything. You see a person enough, then you go, well, okay, try to find out a little bit more about him, right?
Yeah.
So if that happens, it happens.
And that was it, man. But at the time, it wasn't like I say. It was a break in communication during that time, because it was just point in time where I wasn't talking to anybody. I was talking to Pat. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of, man, at that age, I was just like, I'm just gonna just do what I want to do. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? And then I just
get it.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't want nobody telling me nothing.
Yeah.
That's how I was. I don't want nobody talking to me about nothing. Convincing me I'm out. And that's kind of where I was, man. You know what I'm saying? But I look back on it now, of course. What I would have done at the time is I would have took not on like an ownership role, nothing, but I would have tried to learn everything I could to where I can manage things while you were gone. But that's now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the time, I ain't thinking like that. Like, I got a whole studio right here.
Well, I used to pay Marcus to be sitting there every day, right?
Yeah. But I would just, for some reason, I just wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? So
I get it. But then it's like, I know how it is. And once you get out there and people are like, well, come over here and do this. And, it's like, here goes some money. It's like, I get it because like a lot of the cash flow kind of happened when I was around too. So like if I'm out with Juvenile was paying me way more than he probably should because he knew I still needed to pay for the studio.
Right.
And that was kind of the trade-off. Like, if you come on the road with me, well, instead of me coming to Houston and getting 20 hotel rooms, we can go to New Orleans and I can just get me and you a hotel room.
Right.
So, the expense for the bus it all averaged out. So he was like, well, hey, I'll pay you. But then it was like, okay. But then I knew like I got out there and I was hustling.
Right.
And that was one of the things, he would tell me like, man, you the only one out here hustling.
Yeah.
Cause I would go find somebody that, hey man, you want to get this song, Juvenile, I got this beat, you make it happen. We can just record it on the bus, man.
Yeah, come on with it. Yeah.
25,000.
Yeah.
I take 5, he take 20.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get any arguments from him on that. I'm bringing him $20,000, right? So that's kind of how I used to, make some extra money on the road, And then, most people know some of the story because Buck kind of talked about it and put it out there about kind of how it fizzled down. But, ultimately it was decisions that were not based on business again. That fall of, how things tapered off and got to the point where, okay, that revenue wasn't coming in because, you can ride those shows for so long. And then eventually, after you've been everywhere, you're going to start all over again? Okay, you got to wait some time now. So that's kind of what happened in that scenario. But, it's like, I've never tripped on the fact like, hey, I saw that you needed to do, but a lot of what you did is helped you grow.
Right.
I say the only time I was disappointed was the Slim Thug and ESG situation where I had it all mapped out. Yeah. And you thought you needed to go a different direction.
Right.
You went that direction, but hindsight, would you still have done that?
Done.
You just sold them the track.
No, I didn't just sell them the track.
So you got royalties?
I got royalties.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no.
I thought you just sold them the track.
No, I didn't know. Cause I didn't.
All right. Okay, cool. Well, I feel better now.
Yeah, I didn't do nothing else about that. I mean,
I thought you was like, yeah, they paid me and I'm done.
No, that was yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, I thought shit.
That's what I was like.
Cause I didn't like.
You didn't know.
It was past that part.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And I just became friends with them.
Yeah.
Like that. So, but it was all past that part, and it's. Cause they was dealing with
So what song we're talking about is "Put Your Hands Up"
if
you a baller.
Yeah. But no, I didn't. Yeah. So yeah, that's how.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was more upset that I thought you screwed yourself than what you did. I really didn't care that you went and made the deal, but it was like, why? I was thinking like, why would he do that to himself?
Well, see, I don't.
Because see the way. So during that time, the way the music industry worked for local producers was they paid you money for a beat.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So I just assumed, again, communication. Yeah. I just assumed that you just sold a beat, and I'm like, man, that's a big record. And
yeah, because that was my first. That's when I first signed up with a performance rights organization. I think that was the first time I signed up because I signed up for that because I wasn't signed up like at first.
Okay.
I wasn't signed up to BMI. But yeah, I think it was then. That's when
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just did that, man, and like I gave them all my like all the information, and then that was it. But yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Cool. I'm happy to hear that today.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was always like, man, he just got screwed on that song, man.
Like, I still get like a dime every now and then
I'm
from
trying
that song.
to teach him something, man, and he just screwed himself.
I still get a dime here and there from that. Yeah. You know, a nickel or two.
Cool. Hey, I know. So, So let me ask you this. So a lot of people also know that you did a lot of work for KMJ.
Yeah.
So how would you say that experience sort of, at that point, I kind of felt like, okay, he's doing his own thing now because, you know, you had that camp going with music. How do you think that changed, you know, your life for the better as far as music?
That I learned to not get too caught up into things that may look great, you know, at first. Okay. You know, thinking everything is just gonna be going and going and going, and prepare yourself for that, you know, because that, yes, I got some experience working with more of like, I'm a producer with a group or with like a label and stuff like that. But things can fall just as quickly as they rise if it's built on a shaky foundation. And it kind of was, because I think, you know, just to get a little bit into the, I'm pretty sure ain't nobody tripping, but because Evo was still under a contract with somebody at the time, Presidential, I think.
When he was with KMJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were trying to bully him away from that, but they wasn't budging. So when they dropped the Gorilla Mob, they got taken off the shelf. So it was kind of gone. So then some other stuff happened, and then it just, from that point, I go up there one day and everything is being taken out, sold to, he's selling all the equipment. So that's how that story went. Just that's a summary. Yeah. That's a summary.
I get it.
But and then so at that point,
that's kind of what I was talking about. Sometimes things look great, and you really need to investigate it and really understand what's going on before you get too deep into it. Yeah. And sometimes you can't figure it out until you get into it.
Because would I do it again? Yes, but I would just know. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was kind of surprised, and because it was, you know, but I wouldn't have been. I'd be like, all right, I got what I got. Let me keep moving, because I built that relationship with Trey there. Yeah, and that's how we started working.
Yeah, y'all
together.
Still friends.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the best that came out of that. You know what I'm saying? So
and that's kind of how it always happens. You got to find. You know, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, where you got to find what's that next. You know. Yeah. That next thing that you launch. Yeah. From what the previous situation was. You know,
so man, all in all, man, it was a good journey. You know, you get knocked upside your head, but I look back on it, man, and like I say, only thing I would have done different is, but I don't know if I could have, because I was mature enough to know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like to look back and say I could, because there's a whole lot of stuff I could say.
We can all.
You know what I'm saying? But
I could have had Gangsta Profile sign a new agreement when they contracted me, but look, you know, bump in the head. You know? Man. So we all have our bumps and lumps, you know. So we just it's how you come out on the other side is what really makes the difference.
And then I guess the overall thing, to just sum it all up, I learned to not to point no fingers at nobody but myself. Ain't nobody's fault. Ain't nobody they did. No, it's what I do. My decision and what. So, and then just let everything go and be like, everything, that was all my decisions, and what could I have done better and all that. I start looking at that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times we don't internalize, you know, our fault in it and being acceptant to that fault. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of where some people have that issue. Like, you know, like I said, as I've gotten older, I definitely know my lane. Yeah. You know, I know what I can do well, or what I think I can do well. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, it's some young buck that might be able to do it better, but I got to be strong enough to go, let me get out the way, you know. And that's just life, man. And I think sometimes it just takes you a while to get there. Yeah. But, you know, it's like, I know that I still have a lot to offer to young and upcoming artists. And, you know, it's like I have a love for always developing. You can probably look back on my career and, you know, like I've always had somebody I was working on developing, you know, trying to get them going. And, you know, Speedy was at my house recently.
What? God, dog.
His daughter's rapping. He has a daughter that's rapping, man. Yeah, so Speedy came by. He called me up. He's like, man, I don't know where else to take it, Sean, but I'm going to take it to you because I know I can trust you.
Yeah.
Blaze. Oh, Speedy, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, man, go ahead.
So that dude, well, that dude was one that I thought was going to make it.
He had it. Yeah, he had it.
Yeah.
He had it.
Yeah, that's the one that got away.
That was it. Yeah.
The street, but he was too speedy.
Yeah.
He was in them streets and being speedy,
man. He was a whole, that mean I get into that, but That's what's up, man. Man, it was good talking to you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
We ain't talked and sat down in 20
years. It ain't been 20 years.
Man, we talked, we spoke, but we just ain't chopped it up, man. Yeah. And I figured that was going to come up. You know, I was going to end it off, like, you know, with that. I guess he just ended up having to be like that. So I was just going to pull, you know. But yeah, man, so any last little nugget that you want to leave for you? What you got to do with anything you want people to know? Because you done dropped some nuggets already, so. Yeah.
I think the one thing that you have to show is respect. And I'll just leave it like that. Respect is, you know, Jay Prince, you got a book on it. You want to read on it, you know. Respect, man, it's a real big deal. And when you respect people, they show you something different, you know. Like I'll tell a real quick story about Jay Prince, for example. So I was in Austin for a music or film convention, right? And I was walking on one side of the street, and no, it was South by Southwest. So Rap-A-Lot crew was on the other side of the street. Now this filmmaker's a real good friend of mine. She know I'm Sean Blaze, you know. So Jay Prince crossed the street, and he comes through his crowd and comes over and is like, "What's up, Sean?" Yeah. And she was just floored, like she didn't get it, but it was just like, I go back, you know, way back in the day with Jay Prince, you know. Yeah. So respect, man. You know, it's like whenever I see him, I show him respect. He show me respect, you know. And I don't believe none of those stories. Yeah. You know, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Because you know, and it's like, if whatever happened in the streets, that's you know, whatever. But the Jay Prince I know is not the one that they talk about. You know, people talk about. But hey, I think he's a cool dude, and he's shown me respect, and I show him respect. You know,
right on, man.
Like he respect Tony Draper, good friend of mine. I was just editing some stuff for Big 3 because of him. You know, he works with Ice Cube on Big 3. But same thing, just respect. He knows that he can trust me with anything. He's actually told me, like, if I ever had some money and I need to leave it somewhere, I know I can bring it to your house. And when I come back, it's gonna all be there.
Already, for sure. Yeah.
But I know Draper, he gonna come back and he gonna give me a little stack out the bag.
You know, it's a little something.
Because he always take care of you, boy. You know, so but it's respect. You know,
that's what's up, man.
So I close out with respect, man.
Already, man. Well, man, good talking to you, man. And hope this ain't the last time we can chop it up, man. And all that good stuff. So yeah, man. So already, man, it's your man Quincy Whetstone, aka Q Stone, and this was another episode of the BeatStreet Podcast. Y'all make sure y'all share this, y'all like this, y'all tell your mama, tell everybody you know, man. Already.